Welcome back to the Silver Lining, where it's no filler, no fluff. We just keep it a buck. And today we're going to be doing our predictions for the upcoming NFL season. Kurt couldn't join us today. He's out doing some moving with the family. But I got my brother Stan in the building. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? How's it going today?
It's
Happy Labor
going.
Day, I guess.
Absolutely. All right. So I guess we'll start with the NFC. We'll start with the NFC East. We got the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders. Who you got winning that division?
I mean, right now it's still Philadelphia's. It's still the Eagles' division to win. I still think they're the most talented team in the in the division in the conference. Really, they're the defending Super Bowl champions. They brought back pretty much most of their roster. Um, I don't see. Well, let's first talk about the Cowboys. The Cowboys just traded Michael Parsons and what might end up being one of the worst trades in NFL history. And I know that the old man thinks that this could be like we traded Herschel Walker in 1988. Yeah, I mean if that's how you want to look at it, I guess. But you just traded one of the seven best players in the league, and all you got back was two first round picks and a defensive tackle who actually is a pretty good defensive tackle. I think he's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, and I mean first round picks are valuable now. I mean, it's you getting two first round picks. That is a valuable assets to get. So there is that. And ultimately they didn't want to pay him. They didn't want to pay Parsons that kind of money. So a guy who you don't want to pay, and you're able to flip him for two first round picks. I mean,
But then
that's
they just but then they just signed their starting cornerback to a massive extension. Deron Bland. They just signed him
yeah.
to a massive extension. But then they wouldn't pay Michael Parsons. It makes no fucking sense, man. It makes no sense to me what they're doing down there. And again, like I said, Kenny Clark's a decent defensive. He's a good defensive tackle. So I mean, again, I'm not saying they, but based on other trades that we've seen, they probably like even the Herschel Walker trade. Since Jerry wanted to bring that one up, they got like three or four first round picks. So they got two first round picks out of this. I would have thought they would have gotten a lot more. They got for a guy of the caliber of Parsons, they would have got like three picks. But I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. I
Is
think
that
that
is that usually how it goes in the NFL though? I mean, I know in the NBA you see 3, 4 first rounders go, but I
if
think in
this
the
was the
NFL, first round picks have more value than that. You know
well,
what
they
I'm saying?
do, of course. But yeah, this was the NBA.
Yeah.
Outside of if you're the Dallas Mavericks, you would have gotten multiple first round picks for a guy the caliber of Michael Parsons. But yeah, it is different the way first round picks are
Yeah.
viewed in the NFL and the NBA. So look, I think it's the Eagles' division to win. They're still the most talented team in the conference. I still took their over in wins. Um, the Commanders, I know a lot of people talk about the Commanders taking a step back and they maybe a year too early. I don't think so. I think they're still a very talented team. And they got better. They got Tunsil on the line. They got Debo in the offense. They're still very talented. Their defense is better this year. The Giants are still a year away, probably. I mean, they got this weird thing at quarterback with Russell Wilson, who, again, I think that if you look at Russell Wilson, he's got the WASH
Oh yeah.
for
Oh
washed. I
yeah.
think he's pretty much done. But the Giants are coming. The Giants are. I mean, I know. I think it's. I have a couple Giant fans that work at my job, and they seem to think that the Giants are being could be a surprise team this year. I was like, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't see it as a surprise team enough. Again, the defense is pretty good,
I
but
mean,
I'm looking at
yeah.
The Russell Wilson, James Wilson combination at quarterback. Man, that's not.
I mean, honestly, it's the crazy thing about it is that like if this season goes bad for the Giants, you can realistically see all three of them quarterbacks playing at some point. Like you could, so but yeah, I mean,
I
they do
just
got a solid defense. I mean, and again, I have a feeling this division isn't going to be great. I think the Eagles are clearly the class of the division, obviously, but like I'm not really sure. I think the Cowboys are definitely going to take some steps back. I mean, the Commanders, I'm not sure. I mean, I think the Commanders will be good, but I'm not completely sold on them either. So, in no way am I saying the Giants are making the playoffs or anything, but when you really look at the roster, they might not be as bad as I initially thought, honestly.
They might not. Like I
Yeah,
said, the Giants are coming. They've got some. They've had
yeah,
some good drafts. They finally kind of straightened their. And they got a good coach. I mean, I don't think that I know I heard a lot of people say the coach might get fired this year. I don't think so. Look, the Giants messed up. The front office is the one that messed up with that team. He's a good coach. The Daniel Jones thing was what it was. He was a bum. We all knew he wasn't very good. Um, but I mean, Daniel Jones was so bad last year they cut him in mid-season.
yep,
That's how bad he
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Um,
Danny
the
Dimes.
Giants, yeah, not very good.
He got a nickname a little too early, I think.
This dude got a nickname. He ain't very good. It's just crazy to me. But
Yeah,
again, this is what happens when you draft a quarterback first, and he's just not good.
yeah,
You want him to be good so bad, and he's just not. So they had to cut this dude mid-season. Man. That's terrible. But
yeah. But
I
I mean,
think
I
this
guess
is
the safe money here is obviously the Eagles win the division. The Commanders come in second. Um, yeah, and they will make the playoffs, I believe, with the coming in second. I think they would have a record good enough to get into the playoffs. I think I have to look at the rest of the NFC here, but I believe they will probably get in. Would you
I
say
think
that's safe
it's
money? The Eagles win it.
yeah, I
Commanders
think
come in
Eagles win the
second.
division. Yeah, Eagles win the division. Commanders make a wild card. I think
Yeah,
that's kind of how the division's going to go. I think the Cowboys will be on the outside looking in, probably like 8-9, 9-8 for Dallas. Then the Giants probably like 5-12, but in the bottom of the division. But probably Eagles win the division. Commanders finish second and get in as a wild card.
yeah. I think that's pretty safe for sure. All right. NFC North: Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings. Who you like?
This was a beast of division last
Hmm.
year. I mean, you had three teams win. You had the Lions win 15 games. The Vikings win 14 games. I think
Hmm.
Green Bay won 12 games. It was a
Hmm.
crazy division last year.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be like that this year. I think all three of those teams gonna take a step back based on one the schedule they got to play
yeah.
because all those teams play the AFC North this year. And again, Detroit again 15 wins last year, but this year, have you looked at this schedule, bro? I'm gonna
Who
pull up
scheduled
their schedule.
the Lions?
Detroit. Yeah, this is who Detroit's schedule is. Open at Green Bay, um, home Chicago, at Baltimore on Monday night, home to Cleveland, at Cincy, at KC, Tampa, Minnesota, at Washington, at Philly, New York, Green Bay, Dallas, at the Rams versus Pittsburgh, at Minnesota, at Chicago. That's a beast of a schedule,
Yeah, it's a
bro. They
tough
gotta
schedule
play.
for sure. That's a tough
Yeah,
schedule.
that's a tough schedule, man. You basically playing all the good teams. The three
Yeah,
they gotta play Philly, they gotta play Baltimore, they gotta play KC, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. It's a beast of a schedule. So that's why I was looking at when I was looking at their line. I'm like, why is over 10.5 wins like plus 100? And then I was like, oh shit, I gotta look at their schedule. Then I see why their schedule's a beast.
yeah.
I still think they're gonna. I still think for that division, they like Minnesota. Minnesota's basically starting over a quarterback with McCarthy, who is not proven at all. The rest of the team is loaded.
Yeah, but I
Minnesota's
say
rest
it's
of the
still
team is loaded.
explosive. Yeah,
Still got explosive offense. Still got
yeah,
really aggressive defense.
yeah.
And then the Packers just got Michael Parsons, and I had the Packers. I had money on the Packers winning the division before Parsons ended up getting there. So if I had to go with that division, Packers win the division, Lions make as a
Wow.
wild card, and
Vikings are out.
Minnesota, I think, is going to be out this year just because, again, McCarthy's
Yeah.
unproven.
Yeah.
Again, like Sam Darnold turned into a pumpkin last year in the playoff game, and they got whipped by the Rams
Yep.
in the wild card game. But I understand why they said we got to go with McCarthy. We drafted him first. We've invested in him. Darnold, we don't know what Darnold's going to look like. Again, Darnold turned to a pumpkin last year during the season. But
Let me say that.
McCarthy's unproven.
Let me ask this. Can I know that I am like, I know you say McCarthy's unproven, but like, is there a world where because McCarthy is surrounded by so much talent that this could be a new version of the San Francisco 49ers and what they had with Purdy? Just like, surrounded with so much talent that he's not required to like go crazy and just can, settle in and just make plays. He's got a lot of weapons on offense, and I mean it's a solid defense as well. So is there a world where this takes the form of like San Francisco?
Possibly. I mean, again, it's a possibility. Again,
Yeah.
the if you look at Minnesota and you think best case scenario is McCarthy's just good. And if he's good, then yeah, they could get that. But again, they got to think they won 14 games last year.
Yeah, I mean
They won
that
14
yeah,
and 3 last year. They're
probably not
not
gonna get to
gonna.
that mark. Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a drop off from
Yeah.
Detroit and Minnesota based on what the schedule this year and what again Detroit went 15 and 2 last year. And again, both of all these teams have tougher schedules because of who they play.
Yeah.
So I think that, like I said, the best case scenario for the Vikings is McCarthy's just good off the bat, and they could probably get to the 11 wins again. But my guess is, if I had to make a prediction, like I said, Detroit, Green Bay gets to about 11 wins. Detroit's about 10 wins, and Minnesota's probably like 9 and 8,
So
something
you
like
are
that in
sold.
that direction.
So you are sold on Jordan Love. Like you're sold.
I think Jordan Love had a bad season last year because he got hurt, and I think the Packers are better this year. Their offense will be better this year, and obviously their defense, which was good last year, is going to be better this year with Parsons on it. And then the Bears are still, I think, a little bit behind. But again, there's a world where, again, best case scenario is Caleb Williams, who was awful last year. It's just better. You just look at Caleb Williams and think, well, the coach sucked last year. The coach was terrible. Got a year later, and maybe, but again, it's their schedule. I'm looking at the Bears' schedule, and it's going to be hard for them to get to 8 wins, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know. See, this is why I kind of put a pin on like the Commanders making the playoffs as the wild card, just because like I think it's very possible you're going to end up with three teams in the playoffs in this division again. I do. Like I'm still rolling with the Vikings. I still think with all that talent, I still think that they're going to be good this year. The Lions, I mean, are still going to be. I still think even they're going to take a step back because of that ridiculous schedule. I still think they probably win this division, and I think the Vikings are going to be right behind them. I'm a little higher on the Vikings than even the Packers, honestly. So I think with
I
three
think
teams,
the Pack. It's possible. Again,
yeah,
the Vikings and the Packers and the Lions are going to be really just. It's going to be a Royal Rumble with them three teams at the top. But it's possible, definitely. Minnesota's going to be, like I said, they're going to be like a 9 and 8, 10 and 7.
yeah,
Like I said,
yeah,
Detroit, it's going to be very hard for Detroit to get to 12 wins with their schedule. That's going to be very hard. And the Green Bay, I think the Packers are very good. We got to play
yeah,
at Green Bay second to
yeah,
the last game of the season. We got to play at Green Bay. That's gonna be and who knows what that game's gonna mean for us. So it's gonna be
yeah,
rough. I think that division is really good. It's probably the best division in the NFC, maybe the
yeah,
best division in
without question.
football
Yeah,
still. And those are gonna be really competitive games in division too.
yep,
So then you're looking at the divisional record, and it's like,
yeah,
who's going to be the one that wins like four
yeah,
games in that division?
right, exactly.
And that's why I'm saying the Bears. It's going to be hard for Chicago to get 8 wins this year. Just
Yeah, it's because of the division. Yeah,
in that division, in that conference, it's going to be hard for them. So that's how I look at it. I think it's going to be Packers, Lions, Vikings, and Bears in that division.
all right, all right. NFC South. Falcons,
Ugh.
Panthers, Saints, Buccaneers. Now this might be the best division in football right here. I mean, this might
Oh
be the
yeah,
one.
shit division issues. Jesus Christ, I don't. Again, somebody has to win the division. Somebody has to make the playoffs of this division.
It'll be Tampa Bay. I mean, I don't
Uh,
think it's any
It'll be
real.
Tampa Bay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, again, they've got a really great offense. Baker has turned his career around going there. They
yep,
still got Evans and Goodwin, two of the
yep.
best wide receiver combos in football.
Hmm.
And you got Bucky Irvin out the backfield, who's coming a really good running back, good
Great,
all-purpose back, and their
good,
defense is actually
great
pretty
pass
good.
rush. Yep.
Yeah, they got a good pass rush at the front, and they did that. Good coaching. I like the Bucks to win the division, but I'm thinking Tampa might be like it might be 9-8 that wins that division. Tampa probably, Tampa's got the advantage. The Falcons, I'm not sold on Penix yet. Just not sold on Penix. Again, Bijan Robinson might be one of the best fantasy backs this year. He's going to put up ridiculous numbers this year. Out the backfield, catching it and running it, he's going to have a great season. Um, Carolina, yeah, they're not there yet. Carolina's not there yet. Although Bryce had a pretty good second half of the season once they
He
fired the
did.
coach again. So but I'm just looking at the skill position players. They just don't have a lot there. That's still a work in progress in Carolina. Just the kind of, and I saw people talk about Carolina like be over 6.5 wins. I'm like, I don't see it. I think their over is like 6.5 wins. I don't
Wow.
see it. Them going 7-10? Nah, I don't see it.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I feel like if I can pull their schedule up, I mean, it's not impossible, I guess, right?
well, again, that in that division,
Yeah, that division. Yeah,
that division is shit. And you got the Saints, who might
the
win two
Saints are gonna be
games this year.
bad, man. Yeah,
Saints are gonna be really bad this year. I mean, you started Spencer Rattler at quarterback. Man. That. I took the Saints under 4.5 wins, and I probably should have been 3.5 wins because I don't see how they win 3 games this year. They're going to be competing with I think the Browns for the first pick in the draft next year. I
oh,
think
for
towards the end of
sure.
the season, it's gonna get real ugly down there when you start talking about tanking and shutting guys down. It's gonna be tough. The Saints are gonna be tough to watch this year. So I think that division, I see the Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, and Saints in that order.
All right.
It's gonna be tough to watch those games, though. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's
And
gonna be
the
tough to watch
rule
those.
is still the division winner gets a home playoff game in the first round, right? That's still the rule, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Hate that
I know the
rule,
league
bro.
had talked about. The league had talked about maybe changing that, but I just don't think that you can do that because I think that you have to still give the division winner a
Yeah, reward.
prize for winning
Yeah,
the division. You can't.
yeah, and
You
plus,
still
like,
have to reward the division winner.
yeah, and plus all divisions aren't created equal. Like, whoever
Exactly.
comes out on top in that NFC North, they deserve a home playoff game. Whoever
Yeah,
comes out
exactly.
on top of that, so that's fair. That's a fair
Look,
point.
it
Yeah,
it was tough. It was tough that Minnesota missed out on the division last year when 14-3 and had to go on the road to play the Rams and got
yeah,
decimated by the Rams last year.
right.
But that's how it go, man. I mean, again, that's a rarity when you're in a division win 14 games. Then you have another team that wins 15 games.
Yeah,
That's just a rarity. You can't base things on that. So it's tough. It's tough that a team like Minnesota had to go on the road at 14-3, and then Tampa went 10-7 or whatever they went last year, and ended up hosting a playoff game. That's how I go.
yeah. A little off topic, man, but I don't like the extra game. It just feels weird. Like 10-7, it feels like a weird. It's I'm used to 10-6. It's kind of a weird thing to add
Yeah,
there.
it's
It being
it's it's weird.
a odd number of games, that means some teams get more home games, right, than away games.
Yeah, basically the AFC this year has nine. All AFC teams have 9 home games this year, and the NFC is going to flip next year.
I think that's
So that's
dumb.
how they do it. It's dumb as shit to me. But that's how they do it. So like we got 9 home games this year.
Yeah.
And I get like our schedule is so weird because we have like I think we have one stretch we have like 3 straight home games in
Yeah.
between the bye week. It's weird, but that's how they decided to do it.
I think it's stupid,
And
man.
again, it's dumb, but it's not going anywhere. Again, the league, the one thing about the NFL is they ain't going backwards. So they'll fix it when they add an 18th game, and that's happening. So well, when it's going to happen, I don't know. Probably the next collective bargaining agreement, but within the next 10 years, there'll be 18. There'll be an 18th game. They'll be playing 18 games schedule, which is too much to me. But
Yeah. All
again,
right.
the NFL is all about greed.
Yeah, it really is. All right.
It's all
NFC
about greed.
West got the Cardinals, Rams, Niners, Seahawks. What you got?
Tough division, actually. I had San Francisco win the division. I think the 49ers had the year from hell last year, which there's always like one team. Every year, there's always one team that before the season starts was like a heavy favorite to make the playoffs. That just has the year from hell. I think this year could be Detroit actually, or Kansas City. I think Detroit, and Kansas City is the candidate this year for the year from hell,
Hmm.
where just everything just goes wrong and they end up finishing like 7-10 or 6-11, something like that. I think Detroit. I don't think Detroit's going to finish like that, but I think Detroit's going to have a tough season this year. But San Francisco was the team last year. Just had the year from hell. Everybody got hurt. Everybody got hurt, and sometimes you can't help that. Hell, it could be the Ravens this year. Who knows? I ain't trying to put that out there in
Yeah.
the universe, but
Yeah.
there's always going to be a team that just has that year from hell where everybody gets hurt. The schedule is a beast, and they just things out of your control. That's what San Francisco last year. But that team is still pretty good. Talent. They're still pretty talented. They still have McCaffrey. Still have Purdy. I don't know what's going on with Ayuk in terms of the injury. He may not. They're saying he's coming back, but I don't know. I mean, when he hurt his knee, that was late in the season, man. So I don't know where you're gonna see him. They still got Kittle, who's still a very good receiving tight end. Their defense is still pretty good. And they got Shanahan, coach, who's one of the best coaches in the league. So I like San Francisco to win the division. I think the Rams are going to be pretty good this year. I think they're going to be in there for the wild card too. But the question with the Rams is going to be how much does Stafford have left?
Yep.
He's taken a shit kicking over the years, man. Again, when you see quarterbacks get up in age around at 36, 37 years old, you
Yeah.
start to wonder like how much more left has he got? But the Rams on offense is loaded. Like their offense is going to be a beast. If Stafford can stay healthy, Kyrie Williams are running back, and then they added uh, what's his name from the Jets? That was on the Jets last year at wide receiver. So they're gonna be really good. Puka, of course, is one of the best receivers in football. That dude is unbelievable. Yo, when I was at the Ravens Rams game a couple years ago, I was sitting right behind the Ravens bench. This dude Stafford threw a ball out towards the out of bounds line, and Puka just extended and caught the ball in bounds. It was one of the most craziest catches I've ever seen in person in my life. He is a phenomenal wide receiver. He is amazing. So that team's going to be good offensively, and the defense is back kind of to where it was when they won the Super Bowl. And again, got a great coach.
Yeah.
I look at these teams. I always look at the teams with good coaching staffs and front offices that do their jobs correctly and ownerships that stay out the way. And those are the teams that always are competitive. It's these teams that have like Dallas with the old owner who can't stay out of his own way. Carolina and the teams with the shit owners are the ones that always losing. It's these teams with smart ownership who hires the right people that always stay competitive. That's why we're always competitive. Our owner stays the hell out the way and lets the football people run the team. So I always look at those teams, man. It's like the Rams, 49ers, Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles, these teams that have the strong infrastructure, they're going to always be in contention because they have the right people in place. It's the same thing with basketball, man. Same thing with any sport. If your front office stinks, it's tough. But I like the West is going to be shit. Yeah. 49ers, Rams, And the Rams might make the playoffs as a wild card. I think the Rams might actually make it as a wild card.
All right.
And that wild card round's gonna be that wild card. The wild card's gonna be real competitive because you're talking about three teams out the north, and
So
you
yeah,
talking about
that's why I want. So hold on. So how many teams is three wild cards?
it's three wild cards.
All right. So
So
we got the
if we're gonna
Eagles.
go through,
Eagles win the
yeah,
division. Lions. You said the Lions win the North.
now I got the Packers win the North.
Oh, yeah, the Packers win. Okay, so You got the Packers win the North, and then Buccaneers South. And you said Niners in the West.
Yeah, I think the wild card teams in the NFC are going to be Washington, Detroit, and the Rams. But I
Mm.
think Minnesota just misses out.
Minnesota's out. Okay. Yeah,
I think
I
Minnesota's out
disagree with
this year.
that. Yeah, I
I think,
disagree with
yeah.
that.
I mean, I get that. I just think
Yeah,
I think the Rams will be really good this year. I think the 49ers and the Rams are going to be like going at it for that division. Again, I just think San Francisco got the year from hell last year. They're going to bounce back this year. Again, they got the great infrastructure, good quarterback, good defense. And the Rams are in the same spot. Good infrastructure, good coach, good offense, good defense. I like but again, that wild card is going to be
yeah.
again it's the opposite of the AFC where I can't figure out who the seventh AFC team is going to be.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I can't figure that one out. But yeah, I think the NFC is going to be real competitive in that wild card. Real competitive. And there's going to be a team that we ain't talking about that's going to be. You're gonna look
Yeah,
up at week during the season. They're gonna be like, "Oh shit, that team is that. This team is like 9-8, 8-7 or something like that. They're in the contention. So the NFC is gonna be real tough in that wild card. Like I said, I don't know. Like Atlanta could be up there, could be competing. Dallas could be again. You never know with the Cowboys. You just
yeah,
don't know. But that's gonna be tough. That NFC, the wild card round, that wild card race in the NFC is gonna be real tough. Trying to figure out those three teams. Like I said,
yeah.
I landed on those three teams as being the wild card teams.
So ultimately, before we leave the NFC, ultimately, who comes out of the NFC and represents them in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I want to say Detroit, man, but I just don't. I don't see anyone topping the Eagles right now. They're still the best team in the conference. And I think there was a lot of dumb conversations around the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. And, Jalen Hurts did good. Dude, Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah, but like those conversations are talking about just him specifically about where he ranks as a quarterback, and he's not a top five quarterback. Probably not. That doesn't mean he's
I
not
don't think
great.
he's not a top five quarterback,
Yeah,
but I don't think he's yeah. But at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day he's a winning quarterback. He's the kind of
absolutely.
the dude that you can win with. He's efficient, and again he's got talent around him.
Yeah,
That
you can't
line
win
is
without
still
talent
strong.
around you. Yeah,
Yeah, that line is still strong. You got Barkley, who's probably the best back in the game. Their wide receiving core is top. Brown and Devontae. They got talent everywhere. They might have the best defense in football. Still, probably definitely the best front four in football. I just don't. I don't know anybody's going to overtop them, especially if they get the best record and have home field. That's gonna be tough,
yeah,
real
and
tough. So that's why I'm sticking.
ultimately that's what I think is going to happen. I do think that they are going to finish number one and have home field throughout the playoffs. And like you said, someone going in there and beating them in the playoffs just seems unlikely. So I'm agree with you. I got the Eagles representing the NFC as well. I really, really want to pick the Lions though, bro. I just wanted to happen for that fan base so bad, man. I was rooting for them last year, bro. Like I wanted that for
It
them.
was tough,
Yeah,
tough. Again, that's one of the best fan bases in football, and that team has been through so much losing in our
yeah,
lifetime. Like how long have the Lions just been terrible in our lifetime? And this team really took a step up last year, the year before really. And last year they had they had it right in front of them, and Washington just Washington came in there and just took them out, man.
yeah,
So again, I like them. I like Detroit. I still like Detroit, even though that schedule is just that schedule is a bitch, man. I'm sorry. It's just
Yeah.
they're gonna have a hard time, but I still think they get to 11, 10, 11 wins. But I think they'll get to the NFC Championship game. But Philly, I think it's just gonna be too tough. So I think it's gonna be the Eagles. I think in the Super Bowl for the NFC.
All right. Let's move on to the AFC. We can start with the AFC East. Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. Um, look, man, I don't really see any reason why. Like, not only would you pick the Bills to win a division, like if there was a bet that you could take the Bills to win a division for the next 3 years, I would probably take it. Um, so yeah, I mean, is anything really else to say? I mean, the Bills are winning this division going away.
I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's Buffalo's division to win. Obviously, they've been the new Patriots. They're gonna
Mhm.
win. They're still the best, probably the best team in the conference going into this year. And Josh is. I think Josh. If I had to do a quarterback ranking, I have Josh. I think number one right now. I have more Mahomes over Lamar. He's at another level right now. He just has full control of their offense. He can make any throw you can imagine. He's strong and he's fast. He is a beast.
Mhm.
And they are still. I have some questions about Buffalo's, receiving core is still not the best in the league, but and their defense lost some pieces, but they're still, I think, a strong team. Again, great coaching staff. They're still going to be the best team in that division. The Patriots seem to be on the right path. And look, they only can go but up after last year with that horrible coach. I don't know what the hell they were thinking hiring Mayo. He was awful coach from the start. They hired Vrabel, who they should have hired in the first fucking place.
Mhm.
Um, Drake May is actually a pretty good quarterback, and they've had some good drafts there, man. They're getting better. They're coming. The Patriots are getting back to where they're getting back up there. Not this year though. I know there's some buzz about the
I
Patriots making
mean,
the playoffs.
they could
Uh,
squeeze in there, bro. They could squeeze in there.
with that's again with what we're going to talk about with that who's going to be the seventh player team in the AFC. Shit, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
It could be anybody. I don't think it'll be New England, but they'll be in contention towards the end of the season. I think Miami's gonna be fucking horrible. I just don't think they're gonna be very good. Miami's not gonna be very good this year. They might.
A lot of it also obviously is on Tua if he can stay healthy, but there's no
There's no
evidence.
evidence.
Yeah.
We've had no evidence of that. No
Yeah.
evidence of them staying healthy. The defense is gonna be fucking abysmal. The defense is terrible. And again, with Tua, who knows? There's just
Yeah.
no evidence of him staying healthy. The Jets could be like an 8-9 team because they're gonna have a good defense and they're gonna be able to run the ball. I just don't look. I look at that quarterback situation. And it's just
Yeah, and
I've
Justin
seen nothing
Fields.
from Fields.
Yeah,
Nothing from Fields at all.
Justin Fields is somebody that I was like really high on, and it's kind of sucks because I think I'm pretty sure this will probably be the last year he's a starting quarterback on an NFL team. I mean, he'll still be in the league, but I think this will be the final year he's actually a starting quarterback. Um, I don't know, it just never quite came together like I thought it could. I mean, when I first saw him, I thought he was going to be legit. It's never quite came together. I think I wonder what the line is on the Jets win total because I think 8 wins. You call it 8 wins. That's more than I think. So I wonder what the line is
I
on that.
think the Jets. I think the Jets are either 7.5 or 8.5.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember which one they were, but I
I'm
didn't. I
I would
didn't.
take
I
the
didn't put
under.
any. I didn't put any money on the Jets win total because I just no.
I take the under on that one.
Yeah, I just didn't see it. Like the Jets. Again, the one thing about them is they got a better coaching situation there.
Mhm.
The defense is still pretty good. The defense is
Yeah,
still there intact. And again, they can run the ball. With
yeah,
Fields, if anything else, can run the ball. And they got Brees
yep.
Hall still there. They're gonna have an identity of running the ball and playing defense. that mid 2000 Ravens
Yeah.
identity. Run the ball, play defense. There could be a lot of 16, 13, 17, 10 games for them. And if the things
Well, I
go
agree
that
with
way,
that.
they can definitely steal a few wins there.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be a competitive team, probably around seven, like I said, 7 to 9 wins they could get. But it's gonna be a struggle. But they can get up
Yeah.
to 8 wins. But again, it's gonna be a matter of what Fields give them. Man. I just ain't seen it from Fields, man.
Yeah.
I just ain't
Let's
seen it.
let's go back to the Bills for a second. The Bills, I think, are pretty much in the exact same position as the Ravens are. I think we're in the same kind of situation where it's like, when are we gonna get past? When are we gonna make the next jump? I mean, for the Ravens, we've only lost to the Chiefs the one time in the playoffs, but they done lost to the Chiefs so many times in the playoffs. And I mean, they can beat them in the regular season, but when it's money time, they cannot get past them. Um, so for Buffalo, is it kind of the same situation as us? Is it Super Bowl or bust?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it is. I think at some point you just get to that point of it's now or never. And I think the
yeah,
Bills and Ravens are both in that. Ironic that the Bills and Ravens are both in that spot of
yeah.
it's either now or never
It's
here
now
at
or
this
never.
point. It's you just have to get over that hump.
Let
And
me ask you
again,
this.
Buffalo. Yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead.
ask you this. Pretend you're a Buffalo Bills fan for a second. If the season were to go this way, how would you feel? You play the Chiefs in the divisional round, you defeat the Chiefs, and then you move on to the AFC Championship game and lose to the Ravens. But you did you slay your beast. You beat the Chiefs, but you didn't lose to the Ravens. How would you feel about that season?
I would still think the season was a disappointment. It was a failure because the way I look at it is again at this point it's all about getting to the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn who's in your way. It's the same thing for the Ravens. The same thing if I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm like, yo, I don't care if it's KC. I don't care if it's Baltimore. I don't care if it's Pittsburgh. I don't care who it is. You got to get over the hump.
Yeah,
You got to get over the hump. Got to get to that Super Bowl because again, you're being led by just by Allen, who's a you know generational talent, and you just don't know how many years you have with these guys. And it's the same thing we're going to talk about with the Ravens. You know, these generational talented guys at quarterback who are still fairly young, you just don't know, man. You don't know
yeah,
what's going to happen. You don't know about injuries. You don't know. Again, you think the Falcons when they had Michael Vick, they probably thought, shit, man, we got 15 years of Michael Vick at quarterback, and it didn't happen. You just don't know, man. You don't know. So when you have these opportunities to get to this point, you can't just say, well, we're going to be there. I mean, Justin Allen's only 28, 29, Lamar's 28. You just don't know.
yeah,
So I think there has to be some urgency with the Bills and the Ravens. I think this
yeah.
year, I think the urgency is there. Of we have got to get to the Super Bowl. Got to
Okay.
get past the Chiefs. Got to get past the Chiefs. Got to get past the Ravens. Got to get past. You just got to get there. Got
All
to
right.
get there.
Do you want to skip the AFC North and say that for last?
Yes, that's it
All
for
right.
last.
Because we got to talk about the thrilling AFC South too here. So we got the
Jesus
Texans, the
Christ.
Colts, the Jaguars, and the Titans here. What are you thinking
Uh,
here?
I think that both the South divisions are probably the worst in football. I think. Man, Houston wasn't that good last year, and they went what 10-7, won the division.
Hmm.
It'll be the same thing this year. I think Houston's got a great defense, but
Did you?
questions with Stroud, and whether or not he's any good, whether or not his first year was a fluke because he wasn't that good last year. We played Houston and basically beat the shit out of them, and it wasn't even that hard. It wasn't even competitive. We played them. They're gonna win the division because the division sucks. Just they can go 9-8 and win the division. That division is not very good. It's the Colts. I don't know what's going on with the Colts in that quarterback situation. Clearly, they've given up on Richardson. So I think you've seen the last of Richardson as a Colt. I don't think he'll
I don't
start
know,
another
man.
game for the Colts.
I don't know. I've heard it's gonna be a battle for that position. I mean, I think Danny Dimes got it for now, but it might be a battle. you know.
Not much of a battle there, but I mean,
He gets off to a slow start, he might get back in there.
I think the Colts could be sneaky bad this year. Like
I do
I
too.
mean, like 3-14,
I,
like sneaky
I do
bad
too.
this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that team is weird, man. That's a weird team. That's a weird team in a weird situation, a weird coaching staff. You know, that whole franchise is just weird from the top. You know, the owner just find the owner dead one day. It just, it just, I just, it's just, yeah, that team and the quarterback situation is really weird. Like Richardson came out for that first preseason game against the Ravens and got hurt in the first drive, yo.
Hmm.
He got hurt. He hurt himself. He came out of the game. Look. The bottom line is, I think that team, that organization, gave up on him the minute he walked out and said, "You know what, man? I'm tired. I can't play next. I can't. I got to take myself out. I'm tired." This dude actually said, "I'm tired. I took myself out the game because I was tired."
Yeah, you tired. You tired.
Can you imagine what would have happened in Baltimore if Lamar Jackson had said, "Yeah, man, I gotta come out. I gotta come out this series, man. I'm tired." Can you imagine the 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 fury that would have been out on this on the radio stations here for that? You can't do that. You can't take yourself out of the game. He took himself out of a game. He
Man,
quit on his team.
fatigue makes cowards of us all.
Dog, he quit on his team, man. He quit on his team, and I don't think they've ever. I don't think that team has gotten over that, and I don't think they ever will. So that's why I say I don't think you'll see Richardson as a Colt ever again as starting quarterback. I don't see it. I think they've given up on him. I think he's done completely.
Yeah.
But then you got Daniel Jones, who another just
Danny Dimes.
yeah that could be a sneaky bad situation
Yeah.
there. The Jaguars, I just don't believe in Trevor Lawrence, and they spent a shit ton of money on Trevor Lawrence, and he is, and I haven't seen it. I just don't. I
Man.
haven't seen it.
When I watched that dude in college, bro, I thought this was a sure enough, no doubt about it, can't miss. And he's been good. Like I think like he's had some moments where he looked like that guy, but I don't know, man. Like it hasn't quite looked like what I thought it was gonna look like. I thought he was a can't miss out of college, man. I really did.
Hey man, I thought the same thing, and again, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I mean, they've got talent. I mean, Thomas is really probably one of the best receivers in the game. But you think about what they gave up just to draft Travis Hunter. So what is Travis Hunter going to play both sides of the ball? Is he going?
And it looks that way. Yeah, it looks that way.
I don't look. I think he's a better cornerback than he is a wide receiver. I think his bread can be better at cornerback. But they gave up so much shit to draft him.
Yeah.
So I don't see it with the Jaguars at all. Could they be a sneaky 8-9 win team? Possibly, but I don't see it. And then the Titans, that's just rebuilding at that point. There's nowhere to go but up for the Titans after a
Yep.
couple years of just shitty coaching and bad decisions. Now you in bad quarterback play. You know, you're starting over with Cam Ward basically. Now again, there is a scenario where Cam Ward is just good off the bat.
Yep.
There's a scenario where he's just good, and they possibly get to. I don't see it. I didn't. I actually put money in the Titans below 5.5 wins. I don't see it, but it's a scenario where Cam is just good, and they get to like 7-8 wins, especially in that division. That division is just ew. So, but yeah, I have Houston. Houston easily winning the division.
Yeah. I would agree.
Houston, I think it's gonna be Houston, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Indy. I think the Titans are gonna be, I think the Colts are gonna be fucking horrible. I just think the Colts are gonna be terrible.
Yeah. All right. AFC West. Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. Uh so listen, man, for those that don't know, my secondary team is the Denver Broncos. Um, so let me
Uh,
tell you what we got going on here. But no, I'm gonna be honest. Like, the thing is, we just got to see it. We just got to see it because as it stands today, until we know otherwise, the Broncos do have the worst quarterback in the division. Bo Nick showed a lot last year, but as of today, I think we have to say that we got the worst quarterback in the division. Like Geno Smith, I mean, he's consistent. He's consistent for what he is. So when you look at it from that perspective, I do think it's kind of an uphill climb. But I still believe the Broncos are going to finish second in the division behind the Chiefs. Um, I do. I think that that defense is still intact, and I do think by the end of this season, we're not going to have the worst quarterback in the divisions. I think that he's going to show that he's right there with. Um, I don't know. We'll see, man. I don't want to go too far on it, man, because it's gonna make me sound crazy talking about some Bo Nix. But we'll just see how it goes. I think they're gonna finish second in the league. I don't want to sit there and say nothing crazy, but I think there's a lot you're gonna see from him this year that you didn't see last year, because you can see the sparks in it last year. So what do you got?
Man, it's gonna be interesting because I got a lot of people on the Broncos this year. A lot of people on the Broncos. I have the Broncos in my 10 plus win parlay. I think they're gonna go like 10-7. They're gonna make the playoffs. I could see them. There's a scenario where I still could see them win the division.
I don't see that scenario.
There's a scenario that they can win the division. The scenario is Kansas City has a year from hell, and just they just overtake them. Possible. I don't.
The,
I wouldn't put money on it, but it's
the,
possible.
the year from hell, as in Mahomes gets hurt, or just everybody else gets hurt?
Just a year from hell where guys get hurt, they
Yeah,
lose a bunch of dumb games, the schedule's a
yeah,
beast,
I don't see that.
and that division is a lot better
It is.
than than I think people might think it is.
It is.
That's gonna be a really competitive division. I think the Raiders are gonna be competitive this year. The
Yeah, yeah.
Chargers, the Chargers are always going to be competitive. I mean, I know a lot of people love Justin Herbert. I don't see it. Sorry, I don't see it.
I don't know
I
what to
think
say
he's a
about
good. I
Herbert.
think he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. But every time that I've seen Herbert go up against a good team like the Ravens or the Steelers, good defenses, doesn't just I just don't see it. I don't see it with Herbert. As far as like, can you win a Super Bowl with him as your quarterback? I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Like I said, the Raiders are going to be a lot more competitive this year than I
Mm-hmm.
think people think. I've seen buzz on the Raiders. I wouldn't go that far with them, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. But that's a team that could. That I mean, would it surprise you? 14 games, 2 games left in the season. The Raiders are like 8-6 or something like that.
No,
That would that
it would
surprise
not.
you? No,
It would
it
not.
wouldn't surprise you. I think it's still Kansas City's division to win. I know
I
that
would agree.
Mahomes had an off season last year. I don't know why. I don't know why. But for whatever reason, he was just off last year. His numbers were down, but it was just the same thing where just somehow they just kept pulling these games
Just kept
out. They just
winning.
kept pulling these games out.
Was
I
that
mean,
was that
going back to week,
the Black Friday game? Was it against the Raiders when they do block the field
yeah,
goal? I'm like, get the hell
yeah. I
out of
mean,
here, yo.
they just had a bunch of goofy shit that happened last year. The Broncos were going to beat them, and then they had a missed kick or a fumble
Yeah,
block kick or some shit like
yeah,
that. The Ravens were going to beat them in week one, and then fucking Isaiah Likely had his toe on the line.
yeah.
They just had a bunch of weird. They had a bunch of lucky shit happen to them last year. Like they had a rabbit's foot up their ass or something. And at some point, that's going to run out. At some point, that has to run out. And I just think this year is going to run out for KC. I just have a feeling that this year might be the year just that run of luck finally just runs out for them. Now, I wouldn't. I'm not going to sit here. I wouldn't put money on it though. I still put the money on the Chiefs to win the
Yeah, the
division.
money's on the
I
Chiefs,
still
bro.
bet.
The
I
money's
mean, the
on the
safe
Chiefs,
money.
bro. It
Yeah, the
just
safe, the safe, the safe
if
money is Chiefs win the division, Broncos win, Broncos make it as a wild card,
yeah,
and Raiders and Chargers on the outside looking in.
yeah, I would
I
agree.
just don't know who's going. I don't know who's going to finish last in that division. I would say the Raiders, but
I'm thinking the Chargers.
I think the Chargers too, man. I just don't see it with the Chargers, man.
I mean, I still think they're
I
a
know.
solid team, but somebody got to finish last, So
Yeah, I just don't see it with them, man. I know Jim's a good coach. He's a good coach. He's got a good coaching staff there, but it just they when I saw the Chargers last year, every time I saw them play a good team last year, they looked like shit. They did, again, they missed they when they and what they did and what happened to them in the playoff game was an embarrassment. That I had money in the Chargers when that playoff game, and they got absolutely
yeah,
just spanked by Houston.
yeah,
Very disappointing. So that's gonna be a tough division to a tough division. But I still think the Chiefs pull the division out. But the Broncos are coming. The Broncos could be that team that takes that leap. Like they could be. I mean, it sounds silly to say Bo Nix is an MVP candidate, but what happens if the Broncos win like 12 games this year?
I mean, it could happen, man.
I mean, I think Nix is like plus 1,200 or something like that for MVP.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't
but
pile any
what
more
I
money down
mean,
on that.
but again, what happens? But again, what happens if you know they just win 12 games this year?
I think if they would have won 12 games, I think it would have more to do with the defense than it does Bo Nix. I do think he's going to be good this year. I really do, but I don't think he's going to be MVP good. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see that.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be very good. I
yeah.
think he's going to be better than people think, but I don't think he's going to be MVP good. I think if they win 12 games, it's going to be because the defense is ascended to 2000 Ravens level and just locked everything down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that.
And that is absolutely possible
Yeah,
that could happen. They
yeah,
could definitely take that leap because again, I like their team, man. I
yeah,
really do. I really like their team. I just can't. Again, you just it's kind of like the Super Bowl last year. We're like, I'm not betting against
yeah,
Mahomes, even though you knew in the back of your head the
yeah.
Eagles were gonna beat the crap out of this team. You just kind of knew it based on what you saw from the Chiefs all season. You just knew it, but you just couldn't do it because it's Mahomes. Like I can't bet against Mahomes.
I mean, pretty much the
And so,
only way you beat Mahomes is if your front four can get to him. That's pretty much all it is. Your
yeah,
front
pretty
four. That's
much.
what happened. That's what happened when they lost to the Buccaneers
Hmm.
in the bowl, and when they lost the last, they couldn't block them. They couldn't block.
Yeah, it's the same thing with every. It's the same thing with every quarterback.
Yeah,
All the great quarterbacks over the years, and we've seen it because we've beaten them. We've beaten a lot of them.
yeah.
Whether it's Peyton, whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's Mahomes, whoever it is, if you can generate pressure with your front four and get to them and make them see ghosts, you can beat them. And he's no different than Brady or Mahomes or Manning or Mahomes. Any of them, they're all the same. You get to them with your front four, they start seeing ghosts. They'll start turning the ball over. So it's
All right, let's move on to the AFC North. Um, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. I mean, I mean, we gotta have it. I mean, it's our division to win, right?
I mean, it would be disappointing if we didn't win the division. I don't. I look at. I mean, it's going to be a competitive division. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It always
Always is.
is.
Always is.
But I mean, let's just take a look at the division. Cleveland's going to be horrendous. I don't see any. Again, I know there's always a scenario where a team. Is there
Oh
any
no,
scenario in any part of the universe,
no.
the Marvel universe, the multiverse, or whatever, where the Browns are competitive?
That they're competitive, yes. Competitive as in are in games, yes. But
Is
them
there
winning the game, no,
any scenario where the Browns win more than 4 games this year?
no, no. But there is a scenario where two of the four games that they do win is against the Ravens and against like the
Oh
Bengals.
yeah,
That's a scenario.
yeah, that is definitely a scenario.
Yeah, they beat us
But I
last year when
just
Jameis Winston threw for like 340 yards or some shit, lit us up. So yeah, they'll be competitive within the division because they always are. You know,
I still can't believe that. They're just
man,
always
couldn't stop them that
that's
game,
a,
bro.
that's just the thing with the Ravens is the Ravens are always gonna have like these dumb losses. And we had
Mm-hmm.
so many dumb losses last year is the reason why that game against the Bills was in Buffalo and not Baltimore.
Yep.
And the Ravens had to sit the whole offseason and look back on that season and say, "Yo, we lost to the fucking Browns. We lost to the fucking Raiders." And that's the reason why this game was in
Yeah.
Buffalo in a fucking snowstorm and 0 degrees instead of Baltimore
Yep.
because of those stupid games that we lost last year. And that's what I'm saying. I think the Ravens are going to be on a mission this year. I really do. Even with the schedule that we have, which is it's a beast of a schedule.
It is.
Our
Especially
schedule
the
is
start of it more than anything else.
the first 6 weeks are going to be a bitch. Like we
Yeah.
played 5 playoff teams in the first 6 weeks.
Yep. Yep. I
It's
mean,
going to
look,
be a bitch.
it. Yeah, for sure. You know who's the first two against the Bills and then the Browns. The
Bills and
Browns play.
Cleveland.
All right, so we good.
Home
I was about to
opener.
say,
Home openers is Cleveland.
yeah, I was about to say, could we possibly open up 0-2 like we did last year? But nah, we'll nah, that's not gonna. Not with the Browns sitting there.
First 4 games are Buffalo, Cleveland, Detroit, and Kansas City. You just hope to go 2-2 at that point.
Yeah.
They could definitely start the season 2-2, and people are like, "What's going on with the Ravens?" I was like, "Yo, we
Nah.
played 4 of the
If we
fucking
finish
best
two,
teams in the league. That's what's
if
going on with
we
the Ravens. We play.
if we 2-2 after the first four, I'm good with that. I'd be thrilled with that.
Yeah, if you look at the Ravens' schedule, if you look at their schedule, like once they get past the bye week, because you look at the schedule and I got up
Yeah,
on the wall.
after the bye week is the Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns,
Oh,
Jets,
they can
Bengals,
go on a run right there.
Steelers,
We can go on a run. We can go like 7 straight. I think.
Bengals, Patriots,
Yeah,
Packers.
they got
Yeah.
they can if they can just get past this first 4 or 5 weeks where it's just going to be again. You got KC, Buffalo, KC, Detroit, and the Rams in like the first 5 6 weeks, and then
Mhm.
Cleveland mixed in there somewhere. It's going to be they're going to have to if they can get through that part of the schedule, they can go on a run after that. I think I have the Ravens at worst 12-5, at best 14-3. There's definitely a scenario the Ravens go like 14-3, 15-2, and have this top and be the number one team in the conference. They could definitely. I definitely see a scenario where that happens. With the
I think
schedule,
yeah, I think the
not
Bills are
likely.
gonna I think the Bills are gonna be the number one seed. I think they're gonna have home field again throughout the playoffs, honestly. I think the Bills are gonna get that. Um, are you concerned with the Bengals at all? Because I'm a
No,
little concerned because I think the
no.
Bengals are a good team. I think this is one of those cases where I know the saying is your record is what you say you are. I think this was one case where I think the Bengals was better than their record. They lost so many games that were just close games they should have won. It's like crazy. And I mean, their defense can only go up from here. Like it can't possibly be that bad again. It can only go up from here. I know they got a new defensive coordinator. It can only be better. So I'm a little concerned about the Bengals. I also think that there is a world where Aaron Rodgers starts balling because the thing is, listen, no, stop, hold on, before you laugh. If you actually look at the games, the second half of the season last year, Aaron Rodgers was playing well. He really was. He was actually playing very well the second half of the season. So coming into the Steelers and to their situation, the Steelers are always a pesky team. I mean, I think this division is going to be competitive. I do. I think it's going to be a very competitive division. I don't think the Ravens going to have the division locked up for quite some time. I think it may go down to the last 2 weeks of the season. I think the Steelers and the Bengals are going to be right there the whole way, honestly. And I would not. I'm sorry, bro. I would not be surprised if 3 teams make the playoffs. I wouldn't.
Here's my thing with Cincinnati. The Bengals, look, the offense is going to be what it's going to be. If Burrow's healthy, he's going to throw for like 5,000 yards this year.
Yeah,
I don't think that's. I don't think
yeah.
I'm over
That's what I'm saying,
exaggerating it.
bro.
If he's healthy this year, he could throw for 5,000 yards, and that receiving core is they're just it's historically good. Chase Brown's a really good running back. The question is going to be, can their offensive line hold up and keep Burrow healthy this
Yeah,
year? Their defense is fucking horrendous, and it's going to be horrendous again this year. They're going to be in a lot of shootouts this year than they were last year.
it can't be as bad as it was last year, man.
Dude, their defense was so bad last year, and look at all those shootouts they was in. Look, they scored they scored over 70 points against the Ravens in 2 games. and lost both of them.
Yeah.
I still do not understand how we lost, how we beat them both times we beat them. Because
Yeah.
our defense got shredded. We got shredded by them. And somehow, some way we won both of those games. I don't see that I don't see that happening this year. I think that a best case scenario for us is going to be 4-2 in the division. Split
Yeah.
with
That's
Cincinnati and
best
Pittsburgh.
case. Yeah. Yeah.
Sweep the Browns. Again, there's no excuse. We should not lose to the Browns this year.
Bro,
I don't care. We better not lose to the Browns this year.
bro, I
I
mean, I
know it.
hear you,
I know
man,
what
but
happened last year. I know what
yeah.
happened last year. Jameis Winston somehow jumped into the body of fucking Joe Montana, and he just made every throw, bro. Like we just couldn't stop him, man. I'm just sitting there just dumbfounded watching this stuff. Like you gotta be kidding me, man. Like he just couldn't miss he couldn't miss anybody. Everybody was open. There was
Yeah.
always guys open. He was making the throws, and we just couldn't stop him, man.
That
And then
touchdown,
our offense,
that game winning touchdown he threw, man, that shit was like slow motion. Yeah, dude, because if you remember, it was right after, like the play before that. Kyle Hamilton almost had an interception and he missed it. He dropped it, and then
yeah.
the next play, man, he just dropped back, bro, and it was like slow motion. You could see his arm moving backwards. He had this. I like, yo, somebody open, yo. That shit just floating through the air, man. Right on the money, man. Oh,
It's just yeah. The thing for the Ravens this year is going to be again urgency, and I think the urgency is there for this team
yeah,
to get to the Super Bowl. So I
yeah,
don't. I would like to think that we're not going to have any fucking around this year in some of these games that we. I'm just looking at the schedule and these point games. You know, you got the Bears on the schedule. You got, you
yeah,
got the
yeah,
Browns on the schedule twice.
yeah,
You know, you got the Jets on the schedule. You got the Patriots on the schedule. You know, some of
yeah,
these games, I'm like, there's no excuse. Miami, we gotta go to Miami on a Thursday night. I remember the last time we had to go on a Thursday night in Miami, we were like absolute dog shit.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to see that this year. I don't want to see these letdowns. I can accept losing in Buffalo. I can accept losing in Kansas City. I cannot accept losing games in Miami. I can't accept losing games in Cleveland. I can't accept losing home games to the Bears or the Patriots. I can't. No, I'm not doing that this year.
yeah,
I told you, man. The last couple of years, yo, I don't care about how much they beat these teams by as long as they win the games. I'm not. I don't care. I don't care if they beat the Patriots 37-0 or 17-10. I don't care. Just win the games.
yeah.
Just win the games. I can't afford any dumb losses this year. We can't afford it because we got too many good teams on the schedule. We can't
Yeah.
afford dumb losses
And
this year.
and and like, man, when I look at this team, man, I want to like, what's the weakness on the team, bro? Like, we got everything we need, but I mean, we kind of had everything we needed last year. I mean, I know the first half of the season, the defense wasn't great, but the second half of the season, like, we was amongst the best defenses in the game, along with the fact we had the best offense. And how the hell did we not win last year? And I'm looking at the roster this year, I'm kind of feeling the same way. Like, we got everything we need. The only real question mark to me is the field goal kicker, just because, I mean, he can kick all the ones he wants in preseason, and he can, until he knocks one down when we're up, when we're down by 3 with 4 seconds to go. I don't know. I got to see it to know it. You know what I mean?
Loop is going to be obviously the question for them and what they, and
Yeah.
again, that's going to be the question for them. I don't see a weakness on this team. I think offensively they can do everything. They can run it, they can throw it, they can block. Defensively, can they get enough pressure with the front four? Is going to be the question for the Ravens. But that's been a question for the Ravens for years since Suggs left. They haven't really
Yeah.
been able to find that pass
I
rusher on
mean,
the edge.
they do it by committee though. Like, they don't have that
Yeah,
one
it's
guy, but
been
they do it by committee.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
We've been doing it by committee with with Van Noy
Van
and
Noy, yeah,
Owe. I'm just kind of like looking at Owe like when is it going to happen? It's now or never for Owe at this point for me. Is it going to happen or is it just not going to happen? The kid they drafted from Michigan State, I think
yeah,
they have a lot of high hopes for him. Again, he has some off the field problems, but
hmm
they're hoping, his talent wise, he was a first round pick that fell because of the off the field problems. So again, they've been trying to find that guy off the edge to be the guy, and they just haven't found it yet. So that's going to be my question for them: is can they get the pressure necessary from the front four to allow the back end of the defense to do their shit? We'll see.
Secondary look legit too, though, man. Like,
Secondary looks like one of the best secondaries in football.
yeah,
I just don't know how you're going to throw on the outside of them because they just. Jair has looked like a man on a mission in preseason and in training camp. I watched Jair in training camp when I was at stadium practice, and there was an intensity with him that I didn't see with anybody else out there. He seems like he's one of those guys like, yo, Green Bay fucking dumped me, and I still got a lot left in the tank. I'm still looking for that one more big contract. I'm gonna be playing like a man possessed this year. And it's gonna be very interesting to see how they play these guys because again, you have three guys that you could potentially play at the top cornerback position: Marlowe, Wiggins, and Jair.
hmm
Although Marlowe, probably at this stage of his career, is probably better suited playing inside nickel, playing slot corner. He's probably better served with that. He just don't have the speed still guys on the outside. And we've seen that when they've gone against Cincinnati and Jamar Chase has just absolutely just burned him. So I can't wait to see that you see Jair, or Wiggins on the outside with Jamar Chase. Because like I said, Jair has been playing. He's been really been killing it in preseason in training camp. And then, like I said, with Kyle Hamilton, the new contract, they drafted Starks to play on the back end with him. It's gonna be tough. They're gonna be really tough secondary. Question with the Ravens is gonna be the front four. Can they get pressure? Can they get consistent pressure? Can they get consistent pressure without blitzing? That's gonna be the key for the Ravens defensively, especially when they go up against these top defenses, like when they go up against the top offenses. When they go up against Cincinnati, when they go up against Buffalo, when they go up against KC, when they go against Detroit, that's gonna be the key. Are we gonna be able to control those offenses? Or are we gonna end up going to shootouts? Because again, either way, I like our chances. Because I think in a shootout, I think we can go shoot. I think we can go score for score with these
yeah,
teams.
we can.
Because again, I'm looking at this offense, man. It's the best offense I think the Ravens have ever had.
Yeah, and we had and the best one we ever had was last year, and this one could be
Yeah,
just as good, if not better. Like,
yeah. I mean, the 2019 offense was one of the most unique offenses we've ever seen in terms of what
yeah,
they was able to do. Last year, the last couple of years, 2023 and 24 was just you
yeah.
just don't know what to do with them. And I think this year is gonna be like, what do we do? What do we do with them? Because the thought was, well, you just keep Lamar contained and just make him throw the football from the pocket.
But
But we see him
now,
do that, and we see him like teams up doing
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I don't know how you. I mean, if I was an opposing team, I said, how the fuck do we stop the Ravens? I have no idea. I guess the best thing you can do is contain the running game and try to make them one dimensional.
Yeah,
That's the best I can. That's the best you can think of is just contain the running game, make them one dimensional, make them throw the ball a lot.
let's talk about
But
Lamar for a second because I think that last year there was some criticisms they felt like Lamar was not running it as much. Obviously, we don't have any preseason to dig from, but what do you? Because I know some people felt like he came in a little bit heavier last year.
mhm.
Um, so what do you think? I mean, what are you thinking about that?
From what I've seen from Lamar in training camp, he looks about as good as he's ever looked in terms of his physical conditioning. He looks as good as he's ever looked. Um, I think that I think he has. I still have always believed that he has to play his game. He cannot. We cannot look at Lamar and say, "Look, Lamar, you got a chance to run. You got to run. You don't no stay in the pocket. You got to let him play. He is a he's the type of guy that is a freestyle player. He you gotta let him feel the game and let him react. He's a reacting type of player. You can't, and I feel like, especially in the AFC Championship game a couple years ago, I feel like there was a I feel like there was a an effort to tell Lamar throw from the pocket, don't run as much, show him you can beat him with your arm. And I'm like, yo, we can't play like that. We cannot play like that. We have to let Lamar play Lamar's style, and that's just I let the game dictate what I do.
I
If
don't know
they
what.
try if they come after me and I see a lane, I'm taking off. If I've got guys down the field, I'm going to hit them downfield. It can't be you got to stay in the pocket and just make him beat him with your arm. He has to play his way, and I feel like that's what cost us in those games. Was it just felt like he didn't want to run. Like in that AFC Championship game, I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting in the stands like, "Yo, run! There's lanes, run!" And for whatever reason, he just wanted to throw from the pocket. I was like, "We can't play like that, yo. You can't play. You can't play like that."
I don't know what the numbers say on this, but it felt like, and I could be wrong on this, and numbers may prove me wrong, but it felt like like in general, like the whole season, there was less of those design run plays for Lamar, the ones where he just snapped it and took off. It felt like, or
It
even like the
was.
the spread option plays. Except there was less of those. Um,
Look, man, he still. I think he still ran for like 900 yards last year. So,
he did, but I'm saying it
yo, he
seemed like
still
it
ran
was
for like.
he did, but it felt like it was less design run plays for him last year. Unless the
It
numbers may
was.
prove me wrong, but I felt like it was less design. And I don't quite understand why, because that's when the offense was at its most explosive. We was doing those design run plays for him.
It did feel that way. It felt like a lot of his runs were guys aren't open, so I'm just gonna take
Right.
off.
Yeah.
They weren't design runs. And
Right.
I hope that they try to incorporate more design runs for him.
Yeah.
But again, you just look at their offense, man. You look at the weapons they have and how many guys like Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry was phenomenal last year.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't want to bring this up, but again, you have to bring it up. At some point, when is that going to slow down? When you
What
start
is
talking
it?
about running backs over 30, you
He's
start
only
to
30
wonder
yet.
when is yeah. I mean, but you know how running backs are when they hit 30.
Yeah. I mean,
So you start to wonder about that, and you start to wonder again. They just gave him a new contract. Okay, when is this going to slow down? But didn't slow down last year.
yeah,
He
I
was
feel
still
good about that.
explosive as a. Yeah, I feel pretty good about Derek, but again, you
Yeah, I
just have
feel
to
good
kind of
about that.
just think about that. And I still think they need to find a role for Keaton Mitchell in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Keaton Mitchell is look. The problem with Keaton Mitchell is he can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Even with this year, I saw him in camp and I saw him run a go route against Jair, and he beat him in the end zone. And Lamar hit him perfectly for a touchdown. His speed is back. His speed is definitely back from before the injury. It's just a matter of finding a role for him, and can he stay healthy? Because he started getting banged up in preseason. I think he only played that one preseason game. The first preseason game, we scored a touchdown. He got banged up, so they got to find a role for him if he can stay healthy in the offense too. Justice Hill is a better catch the ball at the backfield option for them. And he's actually a better blocker too than Derrick Henry is, and obviously Keith Mitchell is. And again, the receiving core is the best we've ever had. I mean,
Yep.
you saw Bateman took a step up last year, had a really great season last year. Zay has a lot to prove. Zay missed the playoff game with injury. He's chomping to get his ass out there and start killing it
Mm-hmm.
again. And then you got DeAndre Hopkins, who
Hopkins. Yep.
Hopkins could be the X factor for them. Again, they've always found that veteran wide receiver to be the third option, to be the second, third option. You've always had those guys over the
Yep.
years.
Yep.
He's still pretty good. He's still pretty good from what I saw from him out
Mhm.
there. He's still running. He's still running as fast as he was before. And then of course the tight ends.
Tight ends. Like we got
Andrews and Michael.
everything, bro. We got everything.
You just look at the team and like where's the weakness on offense? I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, again, the defense. The only thing you could possibly say is, well, can they get pressure consistently with the front four? And the kicking game is Luke going to carry over what he did in the preseason into the
Yeah.
regular season? And again, anytime you got a rookie out there, you're like, what's going to happen when we're down 30-28 and we have 3 seconds left in Pittsburgh? We get a field goal to win
Yeah.
the game,
We just got to
and
see it,
that's the
man. And
thing.
that's one of the
You
things
just got to see it.
I just got to see it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's
that's the
nothing you
thing.
can,
Like
there's nothing you can, when it comes to field goal kicking, there's nothing you can show me in preseason or in training camp that gets me excited because it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it doesn't
yeah,
matter, but it's like, we got to see it, when it's really on. So,
yeah. The bottom line is you got to see it. That's all it is.
yeah,
You got to see it, and you got to see, just say hope that the team made the right decision to move on from Justin Tucker, which I think they did. I think it was time to move on from him. Not because of the off the field stuff, but just from what we saw last year. He just
that's
wasn't
part
good
of it,
last
though.
year.
That's part of it, though. We know
Obviously,
that.
well,
That's
obviously it's
part
part of
of
it, but
it. Yeah.
he just
Yeah.
wasn't good last year.
He was not.
Just wasn't good last year. And again, you need consistent field goal kicking. And again, at some point, it just all goes for these guys, man. We had almost a decade of great seasons with Justin,
Yep.
making clutch kick after clutch kick after clutch kick. But at some point, it just goes. And
Yeah.
I think he just went for him last year. Again, I don't know if the off the field stuff was weighing on him. I don't know. But, we'll see with Luke. Again, like you said, you have to see it. And we just have to say, okay, once he makes a 40-yarder in Pittsburgh to win the game, then we'll know
Yeah.
we will know he's legit at that point. But
Yeah. I just look at it like this team is going to have a at worst, top three offense. It's probably going to be the best offense. But if I'm just being conservative, like we're at least going to have a top three offense in the football. And there's no reason why the defense can't be top 10. Then again, I'm being conservative. So,
they should be top five offense and defense this year.
yeah.
They should be. They should be.
So,
They should be
so,
top five offense and defense.
so with that said, man, who's representing the AFC in the Super Bowl?
I want to say Baltimore, man, but it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm saying Baltimore. I think this is the year.
Yeah.
Fuck
I
it.
mean, it's got to
I
be it.
think this
It has
is
to be
this
it.
is the
Got to
this
be
is
in it.
our this is going to be our time. I think this year is going to be our time. I think the Ravens are going to go 13-4. They'll. It's going to be tough with us and again. This game next Sunday, first game of the season. But I'm telling again, when you start thinking about home field advantage in the playoffs, head to head matchup. We got to get this game next Sunday. I don't give a damn how it gets done. It just has to get done.
Yeah.
Because we start
Also,
talking about that. We start.
to me, honestly, regardless of the first game, I do think Buffalo is going to have the number one seed. I just think that while I do think that division is going to be competitive, but amongst the other three, I think Buffalo is so head and shoulders above the rest of that division that they're going to feast on that division. I mean, I think they might lose one game in that division, maybe. I think they're going to feast on that division, and that obviously helps you. It's kind of like the Patriots thing, where the Patriots was always the home field because they fed on their division, and I think that they're going to do that. I think they're going to get the number one seed. So we're going to probably have to go to Buffalo again this year. But again, guys, you can't sleep on the Chiefs, man. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They're still the dragon that somebody's got to slay. And I don't know, man. I believe we're gonna do it this year, but there's just every time I say that, I almost feel like Patrick Mahomes is looking over my shoulder, like, "You sure about that? That's your prediction, bro?" I can just feel him on my shoulder, like, "You sure about that? You want me to show you some more film of what I do in this playoffs?
It's just tough,
You
man.
want to see?
It's
You want to
just
see one of
tough.
these 2 minute? You want to see one of these 2 minute drills?"
It's just tough, man. I can still see Mahomes hitting Rice over the middle of the field on that third down in
Yeah.
the AFC Championship game. It's just like
Yep.
you just knew it was going to happen. You just knew it. You just knew it. He's the boogeyman that we all got to kind of conquer
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
And
I
again,
mean,
they've got the coach. They've got the coach, the quarterback, the infrastructure. I mean, their offense is still going to be solid. Kelsey's obviously towards the end of his career, and
yeah.
um, yeah, that the end of his career is coming soon. I'm
Yes.
sure. I'm sure he'll be fine, of course.
Yeah.
But they're going to be. It's just that dragon you have to slay. And whether it's Josh Allen, whether it's Mahomes, the Ravens have got to get through these guys, and that's just what it comes down to. So I think that the Ravens are going to go 13-4. They're going to win the North, um, and they're going to get to the Super Bowl. They're going to beat. I think they're going to beat the Bills in the AFC Championship game.
Okay, so do the who slays the dragon? Is it the Bills or is it us that slays the dragon?
I think it's Buffalo that plays KC in the
Buffalo
divisional round.
slays the dragon. Okay,
I
I
think
don't
Buffalo
believe.
takes them out. I think
I don't
Buffalo
believe
takes out
so.
KC in the divisional
I
round.
don't. I do not believe so, bro. I think that if anybody's going to slam, it's got to be us. Because I think at this point, bro, like I'm sorry, I'm sure the Bills will say all the right things, but when that schedule comes and it says, you know, the NFL it says the playoffs and it says the Chiefs, I don't believe that they believe they can win. If it says
Well, now you
playoff game, I don't believe they can win, bro. I don't believe so. So I don't. I think if the Bills play them again, they're gonna lose again, regardless of what a game is played. I think that we can beat them because I don't think we have as much mental. You know what I mean? I don't think we only lost to them once in the playoffs. You know, we've lost to them in the regular season too. We only lost to them once in the playoff. The Bills have lost to them so many damn times. I think mentally they can't beat
playoff
them.
games too.
Yeah,
And they
they
lost to them
can't
in
beat them.
Buffalo and in KC.
Yeah, they can't beat them,
Like
bro.
two
They
two
can't.
years ago when we played KC in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, I thought it was gonna be Buffalo because I was like, "There's no way KC goes on the road and beats Buffalo." I did not see it.
Yeah,
I didn't see it, and then somehow, some way, they beat them at home.
didn't do it again. Did it again.
I thought it was gonna be us and the Bills, and we had beat the shell the Bills earlier that year. I thought it was gonna be us and the Bills in the AFC Championship game.
Hmm.
I did not think KC was going to, but they just find a way.
Yeah,
Chiefs just find a way. They've just been finding a way, and at some point, like when is that going to end?
yeah.
I think it ends this year. I think it's Buffalo, and I think it's the Bills and the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. I think the Ravens win, and the Ravens get the Super Bowl.
Okay,
And
that's
maybe
your
I'm just being a
prediction.
homer. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm just drinking the purple Kool Aid today. But at some point, it's either now or never, man. It's either now or never. I just next year has to be this year. And the
yeah.
Ravens, to me, have the best. I think it's again, if you're looking at the rosters, KC, Baltimore, Philly, three best rosters in the league. Just up and down, top to bottom. I don't see a lot of weaknesses there. I think it's our year.
I,
I don't sound all that confident saying that, but I just think I have to believe this is our year.
I agree with you. It's all year. This has got to be it. This has got
I
to
think
be
this is
it.
the Ravens' time. I don't want the Ravens to go down like the NFL's version of the Harden Rockets. I just don't want that, and I'm starting to see those comparisons.
I mean, another playoff L, and I pretty much think that's kind of where we are at that point. Another playoff L pretty much puts us there.
I think our destiny, that's our destiny is the Harden Rockets.
I was thinking more
Great,
like the '90s Knicks, and the Jazz,
yeah, yeah, those teams that just could
and
not get over the hump
yeah,
of couldn't
Patrick
get
Mahomes
past the
and
dragon.
Jordan.
Yeah, just couldn't slay the dragon, man. Just couldn't get past that. Just couldn't get past that final boss, man. And I'm just like,
Yep.
we can't have this happen. We can't. That cannot be our legacy. It cannot be Lamar's legacy. Can't be Harbaugh's legacy. The legacy has to be we get that Super Bowl this year. So I think the Ravens are going to be battle tested. They're battle tested. They've been against these teams, and I think this is the year. I think the Ravens come out the AFC, Eagles come out the NFC this year.
All right. Let's leave it there. Appreciate you for coming through, man. Till next time.
All right, man. A lot of fun, man. Thanks a lot.
Later.